What's up, YouTube? Welcome to ExceedTheHype.com. It's your boy Lucrecio coming at you with another video. Alright, this video is about the news that hit today, that Derrick Rose and the Cleveland Cavaliers were working out a one-year agreement that would pay Derrick Rose the veteran's minimum. There's also some talk about him possibly also going to the Los Angeles Lakers to work out a one-year deal to back up Lonzo Ball in his first year. And then apparently there's a little bit of interest also from Chicago, probably for the fact that he used to that he was a star there before, so a little bit of nostalgia or whatever. But mainly the Cavs look like they're a front runner for Derrick Rose's services. He would obviously get more money if he was to sign in LA, obviously, and probably more in Chicago as well. But a one-year deal at the veterans minimum for Cleveland to try to compete for a championship. Now, with this situation, I really like the Derrick Rose fit as a backup point guard. Obviously, it looks like he's going to be a backup anywhere. He would start in Chicago, but they would lose a lot of games, so what's the point in that? Didn't look happy there his last year there anyway. He would be a backup to Kyrie Irving with Cleveland, and boy, he'd basically be a Jamal Crawford type of impact player or whatever. Obviously his game is a lot different than Jamal Crawford, not nearly as good as a shooter, but as a combo guard with basically getting on the floor to handle the ball and try to score and attack the basket, I really would like that coming off the bench for Cleveland. Cleveland did not have a backup point guard all of last season, and Derrick Rose the last two seasons, he had sneaky good years both seasons. Now I think 18-4-4 is something what he's averaging. Now, he's not the best setup type offense initiator. He's competent at doing it, but I feel like as a sixth man off the bench for Cleveland would be perfect for him, because he could really just focus on trying to attack the basket and trying to score. Try to give them a quick scoring punch off the bench. I think he'd be extremely effective in that role. Extremely effective. It's a little sad that he would be a bench player after being the MVP and being, you know, considered one of the top elite players in the league. But especially because I think he's only 28 years old now, so he's still not even an old guy. But still, whatever. If you can compete for a championship, I'd say he should go for it. That would make Jeff Green and Derrick Rose the two main additions this free agency. Another thing, and possibly even more important than the Derrick Rose signing, is what it means. A lot of the reporters and insiders or whatever are reporting that a signing like this would mean that Iman Shumpert is being shipped out. And I think that's very important for the Cavs, is to be able to ship out that contract. That $10 million a year for what Iman Shumpert gives you is just bad business. I feel like they need to part ways. Iman Shumpert made a lot of sense initially. He made a lot of sense. And even the first year with Cleveland, I thought he played very good in his role. He was a starter then. Because remember, originally J.R. Smith was coming off the bench and Iman Shumpert was the starter. The reason he was there is to serve as that defensive guard to take the worst matchup or whatever, to kind of give Kyrie a little bit of a break, because Kyrie isn't the strongest defender. But his defense regressed, his shooting regressed. He used to be better at scoring. His playmaking regressed. Everything regressed. So Iman Shumpert has not really been, other than that first year where he was somewhat of a factor and played good defense and stuff like that, he hasn't been that guy since then. Right? So if you're paying him $10 million a year, you got to get him out of there. If you can find a taker for him, hopefully they found a taker and they can get him out of there. The other thing is, I really think Cleveland really needs to find somebody for Kevin Love. And I keep saying they need to trade Kevin Love or whatever. It's not because I don't think Kevin Love is good or anything like that. Kevin Love had a great season. He averaged, I think, 19 and 10, and he would have averaged like 22 and 10 or whatever, as the average went down a little bit towards the end of the year, and then he was injured and getting back and some stuff like that. But Kevin Love had a great season, and even in the playoffs, he performed really outstanding in the playoffs, in my opinion, just in the finals. But the problem is with that, the finals, he doesn't just play below his norm in the finals. He plays way below. He's just not effective in this matchup, and it's that matchup that you're going to get So as long as he's the third guy on the team making $22 million, you're not going to beat that team. You got to try something else. That's the only reason I keep saying that they need to trade Kevin Love, because I think Kevin Love is a phenomenal player. If he went to Denver, if he went to Portland, if he went to, you know, any number of teams, he would be a huge contributor, and they'd be, you know, in the playoff hunt as well. So it's not like I think Kevin Love is bad. That being said, they need to get rid of Kevin Love too, and they need to find a way to bring Carmelo into that fold. Carmelo is the last guy out there that can really help you, and we don't even know exactly how much. We just know defensively, even though Carmelo's doesn't have the reputation of being an outstanding defender, even though I think in a team like the Cavaliers, he'd be much better than we've seen him on defense. But he doesn't have the reputation for being a great defender. But still, it's not so much about the individual defense. It's about the matchups. It's about not necessarily who you can guard well, who you can shut down, but how many positions can you guard efficiently enough, basically, or effectively enough. And that's really what it's going to come down to, because I keep saying on so many of my videos, you can't out Golden State as far as tempo, as far as scoring, firepower, and things like that. What you can do, you could follow their lead when it comes to switching on defense, because that's the only way to beat them. They run too much stuff to keep up with. They run too much off-ball action to keep up with. Nobody is used to playing basketball, playing defense like that. Everybody is used to playing traditional type defense. Nobody is really, that's why Golden State is so dominant, is because nobody's used to guarding like that or whatever. ESPN and Kobe Bryant had a great video on the way Golden State plays basketball and why they were able to beat Cleveland. A lot of people, if you haven't seen it, everybody should watch that, because it's pretty informative and pretty cool. Anyway, that being said, I do think Derrick Rose signing is a step in the right direction for Cleveland. It's not going to make the difference by any means at all, but it's a factor. It's another weapon. Another thing to note, Golden State, they're really quick on their closeouts, right? But when you try to close out to their shooters, they're really good at attacking the defender that's closing out. So the key is to have, to fight their closeouts, the key is to have people who can attack the basket off the dribble, who are threats to attack the basket off the dribble. We see Kevin Love is not the best at that. We saw him try to put that in this game last season. Kevin Love's not the best at that. They have Channing Frye, who can't even get on the court. Iman Shumpert is somebody who can attack off the dribble but has trouble finishing it. J.R. Smith is not that guy. You see, the Cavs don't have the personnel to really battle Golden State like they will need to try to win. Derrick Rose gives them somebody else. They could potentially have guard sets of Kyrie Irving. They could possibly play them together a little bit, but that's two guards who can attack the rim and attack the closeout or whatever. You have LeBron and Carmelo, if they can get both of those two other wing players who can attack off the dribble at any type of closeout or hit an open three. And then you would have Tristan Thompson, who obviously can't, but you know, Tristan Thompson is invaluable in my opinion, because his ability to switch off on smaller guards and still be able to protect the rim effectively or whatever. So all these factors contribute to me thinking Derrick Rose is a very nice move for the Cavs if they can get him for that minimum salary. If they can't get him for the minimum salary, they got to move Iman Shumpert out. They got to move Iman Shumpert out anyway. And then Carmelo Anthony, the last guy, he's going to be the key to trying to defeat Golden State, because you can't do it as currently constituted. All right, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you like the signing, if you hate the signing, whatever the case may be. Subscribe. I should have said that at the beginning of the video. And like the video. All right, see you next time.